Alright, so today is a little bit different of a video. This is going to be me putting all these on some strings, and that is for, so if you haven't seen, I'll show some footage of the completed world map custom edition, the custom world map that I made. I spent a few weeks creating the custom version in Minecraft and perfecting it to look and be the exact dimensions of the world map one. And I finally have the completed version. I think I might change a few of the greens to some different blues in the ocean, but other than that, it's basically done. And with that, I can start to put all of the Skyline displays around it again. For that, though, I'm going to be replacing some of these studs with some translucent studs to hopefully make it a little more vibrant and just more interesting. And also, with that, I will be doing a ranking video really soon because I'm going to need to be taking down all of the Skylines displays just to put up the newest one, Singapore. And I will do a time lapse of me taking all those down and show you a bit of the shelving mechanism that I used on more detail, because I know a lot of people have asked me about that, and I have some good and some really bad things about it, so I'll point all that stuff out, and I hope this video is helpful for you guys in making your own LEGO displays in general. And with that, let's get to the fun part of this, where I move the camera up and I show you me taking down all of the Skyline displays around the world map and rearranging them. Let's get to it. I'm sure you know how the buttons work down there by now. Do click them as you please. Here we go. Okay, so first thing I want to do over here is just sort of point out and show the different lengths of these strings that I needed to make and put them all together and just show that in a cool way, but that's all I really wanted to do. Now we can just get rid of this. I'm gonna, dangle them. We're just gonna toss them over here and try not to make a mess out of the other stuff. We'll get to reassembling the strings a little bit later, but first I gotta get all of this ready for the ranking video, of course. But in this video we'll go ahead and cut to the next part, which will be me fixing them shelves. That's probably one of the cooler things about collecting all these, is seeing all them stacked up together and such. But anyway, let's get back to making some shelves. Alright, and now everything is taken off the wall, and now you can see the crappy shelves that I made. I think that's actually probably part of one, so I'm going to take that off. But these are essentially all the shelves, and the best ones are actually these ones that are just the one, because as you can tell, these ones that aren't just one, they're really, really easy to push and sag. And I need to reinforce these in some way that isn't so easy to do. So I will be hopefully getting a new method for doing that, and I will be rearranging the bulk of these to accommodate, of course, one more somewhere. And it'll likely be over on this side because Singapore is somewhere over there, and I'll put a circle around it somewhere. But anyway, the point is I will be doing a bit of modification here. I'm probably going to be changing the shelves. This is actually one of the ones that got wobbly, even though I thought I screwed these in enough. I really just need to screw this one in more, and while it's level, hopefully that will fix this one. But this one is definitely a little looser than I'd like, and I might need to fix that, move it up or down or something. I don't know, but that one is definitely needing fixing. The other ones are actually pretty level. or actually they should be really level. I'm pretty sure I leveled them out, but regardless, got to take all these off. Got to redo it. Let's see what we can come up with. Wow, some of these are much more bulky than others, as you can see. This is, what was this holding up? Oh yeah, this one was holding up Dubai, and Dubai is honestly one of the heavier ones just because it's got one of the bigger buildings and stuff too, so this made sense. And this is actually one of the stronger ones just because it's more centered, but I'll have to try and do something like this, maybe with some Technic axles in it or something. We'll see. And of course, this is the last one, and this is actually probably one of the ones that was the most reinforced because it's one of the last ones that I did. And as you can see, it's got Technic axles in it, and I think that's something I might need to do, that, or I'll need to come up with something else. I don't know. Regardless, I need to make this a little more structurally sound and hopefully make it a little more level along the way overall. And yeah, so I'll show you that progress. Here we go. All right, and continuing the ideas that I have for shelves, essentially I bought some different variations of something like this, except it's basically just a Technic thing. There is no studs on it to put screws through, and I bought these screws just today actually to screw these things to the wall just like so, and I will have a beam and it'll be screwed into the wall there. And yeah, that should be really sturdy. I bought a lot of screws so I can put basically as many as I want. I could even do something like that where I put it basically in every single hole and it'd be hella sturdy. And I really like these screws too actually because they are really thin and they fit into these holes without it going above the top part there, so you can actually put Lego on top of this, on these studs, and it won't push the Lego off of it, and it just sits in there real nice. So I really like these screws. I'll leave a link to the name or whatever that they are if you're really interested, but really I'm just excited that I found a solution that is actually really cheap, and I'll put the final price that it cost me for basically all of the Technic bricks that I got. They aren't here yet, but I will eventually show you what those are as well when they get here. But for now, I just wanted to show the basic idea that I had and hopefully give you guys some inspiration for some Lego shelves of your own. But yeah, let's move on to when I actually have the real Technic pieces that I'm going to be using for this display. All right, so continuing on, now I have everything. It all came in. I'm so happy that everything is here. As you'll see in a second, the screws fit through both of them just fine. But I want to talk about all of these here first. I think planning on getting rid of at least the greens, the two different greens in the world map, and replacing them with some different colors. Mainly because I turned the actual map into a colored version and a height map colored version of the world. So I want everything in the ocean to be some sort of blue or something close to that, purple, blue. It doesn't really matter, but I still want to see that height map sort of thing in the ocean, so I think it'd be cool to at least have different colors to replace them with. But with that, we'll scoot those to the side and let me now explain. So you already saw that I explained I'm going to put the screws through these, and these, you can see, do not have the studs on top. These are actually meant for this, and I'm going to be putting a bunch of these little studded Technic pieces into these. And you might be asking, well, why not just use the studded versions of this instead of a Technic frame? And I'm using a Technic frame because I want to be able to have very few studs. And instead of having to put a bunch more bricks on top of it in order to do that, like a bunch of smooth bricks or something, I can literally just use this and put, I don't know, 3 or 4 of these into these, and then bam, it sticks to it, won't slide off, and it is very, very easy to take the actual, Skyline sets off of them, or any other set that I might want to put on top of this as a shelf. It makes it a lot easier to take it off if it's not just solid studs, and it's obviously, again, less pieces if I don't have to put smooth ones to make it less studs. So, let me take these out of here, and I also want to explain as to why I got these, and it's because they're cheap. You might, again, be asking, why would I buy this instead of a regular shelf? And it's because I got these for basically what, I don't know, 2 shelves would have cost. I got all of these, and I can use basically every single one of these as its own individual shelf, assuming I don't want to, connect them together or something to make a longer shelf. But even then, I can make a longer shelf, and this is still cheaper than if I were to have, purchased actual shelves, and they're thinner. You might be asking why I got 2 different versions, and there's not actually enough of these to fit on every Skyline set, but I got 2 different versions because, well, this one's pretty skinny, and as you can see, these ones are pretty thick, so I didn't want this to be so far away from the wall. I wanted to be able to, put it a little closer to the wall, and hopefully right up against there. Yeah, right there should work. If I can sort of put them, up on there. Let me, here, watch. Let's demonstrate how I want to actually use this one. So we'll put some gray pins in there, and I'll try to basically just, connect that. Bam, there we go. And that is how that's gonna go. And then I'll put some screws through this. Grab a screw. We'll put some screws through this. Bada bing, bada boom. That'll screw in really far to the wall for these gray ones. Unfortunately, it won't go quite as far into the wall through these white ones. Whoops, there we go. But it's still got a good inch or so of grab into the wall, so I'm not really worried about, especially things like this, I'm not really worried about the heaviness of it. This is not a heavy set, and really none of the Skyline sets are super heavy. It really would matter more if I was doing much heavier sets on top of shelves like this, but I think this works for what I'm trying to do. But with that, let's move on. I will start screwing some of these into the wall and just start seeing how it works and testing things out, and we'll skip to when I've sort of figured something out, and I'll explain what I'm gonna do. And yeah, so let's get to that. On to the next chapter. Here we go. All right, there we go. It is done. The world map has all of its special blues in there, and now all of the skylines have been put around there in their respective spots. So I'll show the little Photoshop thing that I made to sort of start planning this out. But as you can see, this is very much, I'm gonna move Dragonite again, sorry. This is very much close to it, but not quite what I had planned out. It's a little more even overall, and I think it looks better, actually. I think my snake's cage is a little bit close to the bottom, but that's okay. Honestly, if I wanted, I could just move both Venice and Paris up and just move those above Berlin, and I think that might make for a better look. But either way, right now I'm pretty happy with it. For now, that leaves room to put other stuff in here still, so that's good. And yeah, I am actually really happy with how these shelves turned out. As you can see, most of them just have 2 screws in them, and then they have just a myriad of different Technic pins with the stud on top. And yeah, there's only a couple, like Tokyo needed an extra section here to sort of keep it stable. Otherwise it started feeling a little iffy and like it was gonna fall off. But otherwise, for the most part, this worked out really well. I think also Paris needed one of those, yeah. So the only downside I have right now is that these shelves are white, and I probably could have spent a little bit more to get a black version of these to sort of blend in with it a little better. But honestly, I think it's either blend in with the wall or blend in with the Skyline set, and either way, doesn't really make much of a difference in my eyes. I think this is gonna look really good. I'm gonna go ahead and connect all the pins. I have all the pins marked on their spot just with one little string, and I'm pretty sure I have the strings at the right length and stuff for what they need to be. I tested it out once, but I had to take the map off in order to put this lovely, really light blue. Yeah, let me go ahead and connect those pins and then show you what that looks like. And it's done. It's finally done. Until, of course, they inevitably make another Skyline set and I gotta add another one to it. But for now, it's done. It's done. I did it. I am really actually quite happy with this. I think this turned out spectacularly. I actually got an idea from someone on Twitter a long while ago to put the International Space Station kind of floating up on the roof up there. I think that would be kind of cool if I could maybe position it in a space where it's not so in the way that it's, you know, cutting off the view of the world map there and the skylines. I don't want to take away from that, but I do think it'd be kind of cool to put the satellite up there, or the International Space Station up there. I think that'd be an interesting addition to this. But now, the only thing that I am a little bit concerned about is adding in new ones. I hope that I have room to kind of adjust the strings around enough to fit any, hopefully, new Skylines that they're going to release, assuming that they do release any more. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and I think it's really fun to look at. Obviously, there's a bunch of holes in the wall from the old one that I need to patch up, but I'll get that done when I get some more time and when I'm more motivated to do that. But for now, these are definitely the best variation of this that I have done. This is 10 times better than the previous setup of this that I had with the other Technic bricks and all those other crappy Technic chunks that I had coming out to try to keep these things up. This is so much more stable. This just feels solid. I could probably put a good, I don't know, 5 pounds on these shelves and they would be solid. Like, I mean, these sets are nothing compared to that. So yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I am definitely going to be using this shelf mechanism for some Lego sets in the future. I'm probably going to hang some stuff around these Skylines as well, because there's a bunch of blank space here, and I have way too many Lego sets anyway, so I figure I might as well take advantage of this new Lego shelving system that I've come up with, and yeah, make the most of it. So look forward to seeing some more stuff that I'll be doing with that, and hope you guys enjoyed seeing the assembly of my world map and Skylines display, and hope you're inspired to do a cool display of your own, hopefully. And you're definitely welcome to use my idea for the shelving. I have claimed no rights to that, and I think it's a pretty solid working idea. And if you guys have any actual better ideas, I am definitely still willing to hear them. But for now, thank you all for watching. I'm sure you know how the buttons work down there by now, so do click them as you please. Mr. HiYodaPanda out.